What's going on, everybody? Let's just cut to the chase, cut off the intro. People say it's too long, but that's too bad. So, who's up in here? Do we have sound, Anthony Bressler? What's going on, man? How's you and your family doing? Simple logic. That one guy is raging metal for the freight rates. Well, we'll talk about that. We had a good morning confrontation with the broker talking about a load that, when you get brokers need to do their homework. That's all, let's face it. People should be held accountable, right? When you pick up a load, and here's what the broker doesn't understand. A lot of these brokers don't understand because why? They're really not brokers. They're agents working for a brokerage. You don't get to talk to the individuals that own the brokerage. So, for example, you pick a load up in Florida and they're trying to say, oh, rates are bad in Florida, rates are bad in Florida. No, you're just keeping more of the money, right? Let's get real with the story, right? It's a business, right? They're trying to keep more, and especially if you're an agent working for a brokerage, you get a percentage. So you're trying to keep as much as possible. So when you have a rate con, that is a contract, folks. That's a contract. And when that contract says you go from point A to point B to this customer, and you get to that customer, and that customer says, we don't want that load, we don't have room for it, and you got to go to another customer, that first rate con now has been fulfilled. It's a contract. You went to that customer, whether they unloaded or not, doesn't matter. You fulfilled that agreement. Now, to go to that other customer, that's a totally different agreement, not just, they try to pawn off, well, it's an extra stop. No, it's not what my rate con says. It's an extra stop if that's listed on the original rate con. But you should know on the receiving end whether they're going to take the product or not, because why? If you're the middleman, you're the broker, and you're running a business, you should do your business right and make sure that from step A to B, everything is kosher. Do y'all agree with that? Because they hold your feet to the fire, right? Well, you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock this morning and you're not there. Why? You're late. Well, traffic. We don't want to hear that. Our contract says you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're late, so we're going to charge you $150. Is that not what they say? Is that not what they say? Richard M., clickbait for what? What's clickbait? I guess Richard doesn't know. There's your clickbait. What's up, Bowl of the Woods? TJ Jones, what's happening, man? You know what? It's camping time. Not for us. We're cold. It's cold out there. It was snowing just a little while ago, right? Snowing. Unbelievable. PJ, what's going on? We'll scroll up here. Mr. Wilson, what's happening? Big Face Trucker in the house. Liberty Hill Transport, LLC. OG the Trucker, what's going on? If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Well, we can't forget. There's Shannon. What's up, Shannon? Same situation, Gordon Foods. Look, everybody knows Gordon Foods. If you're in Gordon Foods, what are you, down there by Howell? Are you at that Gordon Food Service down there by Howell off of 94? If you are, man, I'm feeling your pain. Shannon. Is that where you're at, Shannon, down there at that facility where you could, order DoorDash for 6 days in a row and still be there? I stepped on Steve's live. Sorry, Nomadic Brit. I didn't even know he was live. I didn't get a notification. I got no notification. So sorry, Snower Lord. If you're live, we're sorry. It's what it is. Fran, what's up? And we just got a rate con here. So I'll have to do a little bit of work. So, if you don't want to see me do some work, you can go watch Snorlord, I guess. So let me get into my TMS software over here, and I'll do this while we're ranting about these brokers. So I blew my horn. I drove by your house a couple days ago. I heard it. You woke me up, Mr. Wilson. That's a fine. I lost sleep. I only get about 1 hour sleep. Ended my feed. Sorry, Snorler. Didn't mean to step on you. Didn't even know you were live. Didn't know you're live. You didn't show up on my feed. And I'm a member. See, he's not a member of my channel. I'm a member of his channel. And I didn't get no notification. So you need to contact. YouTube's and tell them, hey, I'll do an invite. Anybody wants to come in, we'll entertain you. If we don't like what you bring, we'll just kick you right on out. Just kidding. I was replays and good stuff. Thanks. Yeah, friend, appreciate it. Siri can't type today. Well, Siri's probably got the vid, right? Probably got the vid. That's the thing that goes on. We got somebody coming. Sorry I stepped on your live, Snorler, but you know what? It's YouTube's fault. I got no notification.
Rude.
0. See, all I got is I got LinkedIn and USA Today. That's all I got.
Rude.
I'm ranting raving about brokers, thinking that it's okay to rip off contractors coming out of Florida because they say, Florida rates are real bad, and this. I says, look, dude, any owner-operator is not going to take $1.20 a mile out of Florida when fuel's $1 a mile.
Right.
And don't tell me you're getting any lower rate because I don't buy it.
Is that what the title's about?
Well, here's what it's about, right? It's about legality, right? Because then he comes back. This is about one of our guys, right? He gets a load out of there, goes to Georgia, goes to the place where it's supposed to be unloading. They don't have room. They say, go to this other place in Atlanta, about 25, 30 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
All they want to pay is an extra stop pay. I says, no, that's not correct. You need to do an extra stop pay plus mileage plus detention because time is money. And if you have 8 o'clock and you're there, you go over here. And he says, well, we might be able to get a layover, which I said, $250. He said, no, layover is $150. I said, well, what planet are you on? Right? What planet are you on? He said, well, it's in the rate con. Okay, so if you're going to pull that game, then the rate con is not a legal document, correct? It's a contract.
Mm-hmm.
So if your contract says you deliver, let's say, at noon in Georgia, 8 a.m., you get there and they're going to try to send you somewhere else. That first contract is fulfilled, is it not?
Yeah.
They should send you another contract from Noonan to Atlanta, should they not? Right?
Yeah.
So you can't go off the verbiage because if that's the case, if you show up at 9 a.m. for an 8 a.m. appointment and there's a $150 late charge, what are they going to do? They're going to say all day they're going to take the $150 late charge, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Right.
Doesn't matter if you get there at 9. If what they're saying, that doesn't mean anything that's written on that paper then. Because they don't uphold their end of the bargain.
I've been seeing a lot more of that here lately. Those kind of shenanigans. It's made booking loads a lot more stressful. Because at this point in the game, it's good to be booked ahead, but it's hard to book ahead when there's so many shenanigans. I had to give back 2 loads for a driver a couple of weeks ago because of shenanigans at the receiver. So right. It seems like there's a lot of that going on, and of course they're avoiding pay, or they're like should have gotten $500 layover, and I only got $400, for that shenanigan. So it was a costly and in one mistake, one shenanigan like that can cost you thousands of dollars in lost revenue and time. So it's very frustrating.
Right. It is frustrating. And, if they want to bring that, they need to learn contractual agreements because they're violating their own contract. But then there's another point. there's too many truck drivers out there that don't know their cost to do business, or else they wouldn't run the load at all, right? They don't know their cost to do business.
Mhm.
2, they don't know contracts, because a lot of them just sign, lease purchase trucks and everything else without even reading the contract. And then they yell and scream that, they're doing this to me or that to me, but it's in the contract. Right? We know a lot of lease purchase guys, a lot of, with the megas, and how many times you hear them scream and complain about, what they're doing to them, but it's actually in the contract.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't read it.
Right.
Just like the rate cons. Most of them don't read the rate con. Right? When it comes to late charges, what they're going to pay for detention, because everyone's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of brokers now. They charge $100 if you don't send in the BOLs. They charge $100 if you're late. They charge $150 if you're, if you have a breakdown without showing receipts, that kind of thing.
Right.
So like I'll negotiate a load for 1,000, and the rate con will say 800 plus 100 if you're not late fee, or like bonus amount is how they put it. And to me, it leaves a lot of open opportunity to say, well, no, our tracking software says you weren't there, so you weren't there. Next thing you know, what should have paid 1,000 is now paying 800, and you don't even realize it till it's too late to do something about it.
Right, and then you got other brokers that have the tracking stuff, and their tracking doesn't work right, and then you get penalized for it, and then you got to try to prove your innocence, right? Because their stuff don't work.
Yeah.
And we know all about that, right?
Yep.
We know all about that. We're not going to mention names, but we know all about that good stuff. Well, yeah, that was my thing, and then about the rates. We all know rates are going down, of course, but it's still above the levels of when it was bad in 2020.
Well, my thoughts on the rate arguments is, okay, now what? Rates are falling. What are you going to do about it? We can blame everybody and their mother, but what's your plan if they go lower? That's what everybody needs to be discussing, not the fact that rates are coming down. What are we going to do about it?
We got someone coming in here. Let's see who it is. It says Little Bo Peep.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson. Got us. Now, that's kind of an interesting way to wear a headset. I think that might work.
Yep.
Little Bo Peep.
It's the only way you can wear it and wear my hat.
Is that your CB handle, Mr. Wilson?
No, Ghost Rider, Unit 492.
I think it was Little Bo Peep. I like that. So what are you doing on the truck, Mr. Wilson? I should be seeing an RV there. I don't understand this.
You will May 13th.
Where are you going in it?
Florida.
Florida. Did you go to Talladega?
No, I did not.
It was a good race. I watched Saturday and Sunday's race. It was both good.
Yeah, I missed Talladega this year.
I thought you always went to that.
I do, but money, when the money's good, it's hard to pass it up.
Well, how can money be good in this time frame? Everybody says it's bad.
I don't know. I'm doing pretty good.
It just depends on the running area, right?
Right.
And
contractual freight.
Right, and that comes out with, if you're used to going down to Florida all the time, just going back and forth, and Florida gets really, really bad, then change your running area. Don't go there.
Correct.
Let's see if you guys who controls the freight rates in this country.
The shipper.
Supply and demand. If you
Who
got 10
could?
trucks for one load, you know.
Okay, but here's another thing. Now let's take it a bit further. Who could control? Who would have the power to control the freight rates if they could get everybody on board?
Well, that's never going to happen.
Well, I know, but who could? Who could have the ultimate power to control the
Brandon.
freight rates? Say that again. I didn't quite catch that.
Brandon.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought you said.
Well, I got a good laugh out of you for the morning.
Brandon.
Yeah, he seemed kind of irritated, didn't he, Mr. Wilson?
Yes,
Well, yeah,
sir.
because when I found out I stepped on Steve, and I don't like stepping on Steve, right? So I was going to just delete the live feed and just go watch Steve. He's more interesting anyway.
No, that's fine. It was getting close to an hour. I don't like being live much past 8 o'clock. So I like only going an hour if I can help it. I think the one time I went 2 hours is when I had, when we had, you and I had 2 brokers in here talking about that kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, all I'm doing is giving Thor his load. That's why, I'm a little typing. You know how it is, Steve.
I don't seem to have as many interruptions as you during my live feeds, though, because I go early.
Well, it doesn't matter if I go early. I got people calling me at 6 in the morning, 5, 4. It doesn't stop. Now, if I was like Little Bo Peep, I wouldn't have no problem because there'd be no sheep.
No sheep.
I had to change that.
I'll have to change that. Look, he's going to start changing it. I said, I made him laugh, though. Yeah. I mean, it's a rhyme, right? It rhymed all the way through.
It does. It does.
But anyway, so Max Mount, right? Max Mount called me the other day. Nice young gentleman there from Illinois. Everybody knows about Max Mount, right?
Right.
It's one of the best mounts in the industry, is it not? For their suction cup power is unbelievable.
Yep.
So he called me up and said, hey, would you be interested in talking about my product, and I'll give you guys a discount code. So I said, sure. So he's going to send me a discount code, so that's coming.
Nice.
Because they usually don't give discounts. And, another thing is, I guess you won't find them in the TAs and stuff anymore. They took their product out.
What is that? They have a fall out with them or something?
Well, no. The supply chain, right, is broken. So, I don't know, something about, getting the product there or something. Or, I don't know, TA and them just redid their stuff, I guess. Who knows? Who knows why? But
the only Petros that I would see them at would be the Iowa 80 brand, like Joplin, Walcott,
right,
Oak Grove, but I don't think I've ever seen them in the regular TAs. So
right. So they still might be over there at the Iowa 80.
Yeah.
But I said, yeah, if you give a discount, people like discounts. I don't know what the percentage will be, but we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I said, give them a good discount.
Jeff doesn't have a hat on this morning.
No. Yeah, you can see the glare, right?
Well,
This is my impression of Jeff without a hat on.
Yes.
What's that say? Skidoo? Skidoodle?
Now I got to sit here and mess around with this hat, all because of Thomas Wilson. So if anybody doesn't like the video going to this point forward, it's all Thomas Wilson's fault. We'll blame it on Thomas Wilson.
Now there's
All right,
Jeff.
but see, now
There's
if
Jeff.
I wear these, I got to do this. Here. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to do a Thomas Wilson. All right.
Well, if you ever noticed at a NASCAR race, most of them have them up underneath like that.
All right, so we could work at a NASCAR then. Here, let me try to
That
zoom those up.
probably doesn't squeeze. I mean, I wear glasses when I'm driving and have the headset on, so I wonder if that doesn't squeeze as much.
Right, it doesn't squeeze as much. And if I had a chin, I could actually hold this up, but I don't, so it's going to flop.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here like, la 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 la. You guys in your headsets.
So let's get, you know.
Oh, I do have one question. Are you going to continue the other channel, RV?
Yeah, I'm going to start it up this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be nice to see where you go, what you do.
Okay, well, that's coming. First camping trip will be the middle of May. So
That's when I'm going, May 13th.
yeah, I think mine's like 16th or something. But I'll post, you know, I'll do some stuff from there. And then we'll do another one and another one, another one, another one. We'll probably do 4 or 5 this year. And if Snowlord would do his in his RV, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you buy me an RV? I don't know about it.
No, you are. I mean, why not?
I'm gonna buy. Have you heard of the Cricket? There's this RV dealership down the road that's got these little cute little trailers called Crickets. You can buy me one of them.
Big face right. Drivers could control the rates. If you had everybody on board, the drivers could control the rates. But we know what happened to the last person that tried to unionize all the truck drivers into one organization.
Mr. Jimmy Hoffa.
Which no one knows where he's at, but he's probably, who knows?
Well, you know, that man did a lot of wrong stuff with money, but he was always for the drivers, and he took care of the drivers.
Other trucker James Best? No. Thomas did not go to Talladega. He should be reprimanded for not going to Talladega.
Well, I knew I was going camping in May, and the rates were so good, I just opted to stay out and make the money. And because I know that's 9 days at Talladega.
You know
So
why
it
you
would take-
opted? You know why you opted to stay out and do the money? You know why?
Why?
Because your RV runs on diesel, my friend. And diesel is $1 plus more a gallon than gas.
I filled up the other day at $1,014.
And he probably fills the RV up with the company diesel card.
No, I got my own card for that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You could send me some videos of when you go camping, and I can put them up on the site. You know,
That would be interesting.
Well, yeah. If you send me some clips, then I'll go back to and doing like studio production, and I can put my clips with your clips and do like a an RV type of.
Well, if you go live from the RV, you can have Mr. Wilson go live.
I could. Yes, he could go live and walk around and show us his UTV and all that stuff.
I'll be right above Daytona and Ormond Beach.
Cool.
Yeah. Look, he's trying to think of should I really go live and show everybody what that looks like over there?
Well, let me tell you something. You want to talk about expensive, camping now? The rates have almost tripled in a lot of these campgrounds.
Yeah, I don't pay any. Well, I do. I pay $480 for a year.
Lucky.
I can go between 12 campgrounds.
I have to go to the beach, so I pay through the nose.
There's no beach here. I mean, there is beach here. I mean, you could go on either side of Michigan and go up to the UP and out both sides there, and you'd have Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, like here. But if you go up to the UP and go to Lake Superior in the middle of July, you're going to freeze if you try to jump in that water.
Yeah, but there's always Florida. You got a motorhome, a mobile office back there. You could just go to Florida for a month.
I do.
Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Suspected spam.
Not me.
I bet you it's capital. Would you like some capital? Here, let's see what it is. Go ahead, Steve. Talk away.
So, Mr. Wilson, how's it going?
Hello. Going once, going twice. You're out of here.
Oh, I guess I'm boring this morning.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes excitement is not good, right?
I'm getting unloaded. Probably go back to India and pick up another Pepsi load.
Are you doing the shuttle stuff this week?
79 miles.
Gravy train. Gravy train.
That will be a lot of editing. It's Mr. Wilson. Tell me I have to do a lot of editing. If we have you send me some camping pictures or video.
Well, I would send pictures of the beach, and I do like to zoom in a little. So, yeah, you probably have to do a lot of editing.
Right? Maybe today, James go live. Like spam with mustard. Do you eat you eat the spam in a can?
I grew up with it.
You ever ate it ever since then?
My wife's made it a couple times in the last 30 some odd years.
And every time he's probably went and got a steak. It's a steak house. I mean, it's not my go-to food. I'll tell you that.
It's not.
Look at Mr. Wilson, man. He's dressed for success.
He is, man.
He looks nothing like a truck driver.
Ain't no flip-flops in that truck.
No, there ain't no flip-flops there. It's got to be pan-fried and never raw. See, now, James, there's spam at its finest right there.
Yes.
Look at that.
That's supper.
That's supper. He's just going to get it out and let it thaw all day.
You making fun of my clothes?
No, I said you don't look like a truck driver. You look like a businessman from Texas.
I dress that way every day.
He does. I've seen him in person in Joplin. He went up to his truck. I've ran into you a couple of times out on the road. I think both times were in Joplin, wasn't it?
Yep, believe it or not.
Yeah. You never come up here anymore. I see how it is.
Yeah. He comes up to Michigan once in a while.
Yeah, he's in Michigan more than Missouri.
Yeah.
Well,
would somebody do that?
But he needs to get up here like it, because he was right by me one time, but I was busy with something else, and it says he needs to let me know ahead of time. Like a phone call or something. But he don't. He just say, "Oh, I was in your area, right next to your house," but he didn't come over.
I did Menards.
That's what I'm saying. You were like 2.5 miles from my house.
I came by and blow the horn the other day.
I know you did. I heard you. You woke me up. And that's what happens. Everybody knows where this house is. They blow the horn because they know I'm going to hear it. Because the property butts up against I-69, does it not?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It
Show it up.
does.
So I could go to the edge of the property and look down on top of you when you go by.
In fact, one time I drove by his house and he was flipping me off. I was looking over there, honking the horn. He's like,
You were number one, Steve. What can I say?
and one
I
time
can see.
I spread his whole driveway all over his street.
You did.
Was over
You did. You came here during the thaw, and I had to get the tractor out and push your truck out of there because your truck has no power. So it's got that stupid. I don't want to say the name because then James, other trucker James Best, will go into a rage. Packard motor in it.
Hey, that's a good motor.
The Packard.
It's better. It's better than that red one.
Yeah, what, Cummins?
That's what you always call them, is the red motor.
Well, the red. Well, now you're talking fuel for fire. So if James goes live later, that's going to be a conversation. Red motor against Packard. What's Packard motor? Is that brown or something?
Gray.
Gray.
It's a grayish black.
Grayish black.
I know that.
Well, that's so
weird.
you can't see all the oil leaking out of it.
Oh, I don't have no oil leaks. If I did, that's the first thing.
No, the
I'd
motor
do is
just
put
get blacker and blacker.
No, that's when I take it to shop and I have the whole engine resealed. Because if one leaks, the rest are going to start.
That's right. That's like if a couple injectors go, when they're in there, you might as just do them all.
Do them all plus the seventh injector.
Right. They're in there. Labor's already there, right? That's like a manifold bolt breaks. And they got to do it. Just replace all the bolts. Because if one breaks and you got to untorque all those to replace it, you just weaken their structure, right?
Correct.
Yeah, when I replaced the turbo on my red engine, the manifold bolts had broken, and that upped the labor by like $2,000.
Wait a minute, Snorlord. You painted your gray blackish motor red?
No, see, that was my first truck, was the red motor.
Oh, what's this one?
This is the Packard. Look, you guys can make fun of Packard all you want. Mr. Best little, pissy fits about Packard. Or
he's saying they're gray like trash cans. Mike.
Look, I really, it's, engine arguments are invalid to me because they all suck. They all have their issues, and they're all designed to take money away from the owner operator.
All right, James Best, listen to this. Now, I hope you got your ears on. The reason why your rear main seal is seeping on that red motor is because it's trying to be like the Packard. It's trying to look like a gray blackish motor. And that way you will never have a rear main seal leak again.
You know how many oil leaks my truck's ever had?
Zero.
Now my APU, that was a different story, but I just had that replaced. But
back in the day, we called them come-alongs.
Yeah, we call them come-alongs or come-aparts, right?
Come-aparts, yep.
Because I had an N17 come-apart, and man, that thing was like 420,000 miles, and I'm in Colorado, right? And I'm climbing the mountain, and I get to the top where the scale's at, right? Get to the top, I go to the scale, and they stop me on the scale, and my oil pressure goes down to 5 PSI. So I rev the motor up, right? I got a neutral, rev the motor up to keep it up, and I'm like, something's not right. Shouldn't be at 5, right? So I get going on the road, and it gets back to somewhat operating, but the oil pump and stuff was going out, so I had to get to the nearest shop, because when you stop the truck and idle, it would get down to 5 or less, unless you kept it revved up. Yeah. So you know what I did with that truck?
Traded it.
Got rid of it. Got rid of it.
all the trucks are money pits at some point or another.
Yeah, they're all money. Well, another reason I got rid of it because it was geared for. It used to be a Viking truck. If anybody's been back that long ago out west, they were the white FLD 120s with the blue sun visor going across, and they had Viking on them. It was one of those trucks, but it was geared to haul doubles up and down the mountains. So, all the way to the floor, 1,700 RPMs is screaming. You're doing about 70 is the top you can get.
In my experience, the best engine is the one that has the best warranty.
Yes, that I would agree with that, because they're all going to break.
And I've had the only engine I
machinery.
ever had was a Detroit. I've had Volvo, I've had Cat, I've had Cummins, I've had PACCAR, and they've all costed pretty much about the same.
Well, my best motor was a 3406E, 475 Cat.
Speaking of Cat, have
Yeah,
y'all ever
Snowload's
seen
got a couple of them.
Did y'all ever seen the truck going down the road that looks like the Mad Max truck?
Yes.
Wicked Intent.
Yeah, that's been at the Joplin Truck Show.
His engine blew up. He sold his trailer and parked the truck.
Oh wow, that sucks.
He just put that Cat in there and it blew up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to say about the red motor. It can be serviced anywhere. That is true. There's a lot of Cummins shops all over the place.
Well,
and a lot of dealers can fix them and things like that.
I've said that for years. I said the only thing I don't like about my PACCAR is the fact that I have to go to a dealership if there's major work. That's it.
Same thing with the Volvo motor, right? The green motor. You just got to go there. Same thing with the Mac.
Yeah. But this day and age, they're trying to, at one time Volvo was the only engine really doing that, and then when PACCAR came out, Peterbilt and Kemper were like, "Hey, that's a good idea, Volvo. We're going to start doing that." And so they make their software all proprietary, and you have to pay these outrageous fees if you're an independent shop, so you can't steal work from them, and it's all designed to take as much money as possible, regardless of the engine, and they're all engineered to fail at certain intervals. And I mean, that's how you stay in business.
I knew Thomas would get he'd laugh on that when we got someone with jokes. Dutch has jokes.
He does.
Anybody want to run Cat from Memphis? Anybody want to run a dry van load out of Virginia to Rock Island, Illinois, or Virginia to Romulus, Michigan? 7 loads per week.
Too far for me.
What? To go there? 7 loads a week?
Yeah. I don't like to drive more than 300 miles a day.
I got to take care of something here. Yeah, so what do you guys think rates are going to do? What's your guys' take on it?
Well, if you had tuned into my live feed, I was talking about how
I didn't tune in, so let's hear replay live here. What about that?
There's a lot of news talking about the Shanghai and other port shutdowns that's going to affect our freight volumes here in about the end of May. So I think that's going to cause rates to go even lower. So have a plan in place. That's all I was saying. I wasn't fear mongering. I was just saying, hey, what are you going to do about it? We can sit here and discuss, who controls the rates or whatever. But if you have no control, if it's the drivers that control rates, well, you can't control them. There's a lot of people that overextended themselves and have to run, like they can't sit. So they're going to outbid you. Unfortunately, if they're running at a loss, well, the good news is they'll eventually go out, so they won't be competition anymore. But you got to be able to survive that.
Right.
That's it. So whether brokers or drivers or shippers control rates, doesn't matter. If they go down and you can't get any more money, then what are you going to do about it? And that's the part that everybody should be discussing. So, and if they don't go down, then you're good to go. If they do go down, equipment rates will go down, so you can invest in some trailers if you got your act together, and and you just keep on rolling. You know, these mega carriers didn't become mega carriers overnight. They know how to survive.
Mhm. Oh,
Freight
yes, they do.
have strategies in place when things get tough, and that's how, you know, like even my small company that I was at, 150 trucks. They've been around for 30 years. So you don't stick around for 30 years without learning a few things.
You got to learn how to run lean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, judging by the number of new DOT numbers issued, the increase in capacity by all trucking companies, especially the mega carriers, and looking at what we could possibly be in for in due to China mainly, and the economy and the situation it is, I look for another 2000. What happened in 2000 with so many trucks parked? The dealers stopped accepting people turning them in. You couldn't even turn a truck in. They didn't want it. Their lots were full. They had places rented. There's wall to wall packed with
It
trucks.
it will go to that. It's happened several times, right? It's
Yes.
happened at least five to six times in the last 30 years.
What's interesting is I heard a story about a guy that had 2 trucks on order, and they called him and said, "Hey, good news is we got your orders. Bad news is the price is now at 217,000 for a new Aero plain Jane truck."
I would say, well, you can have my order.
He canceled
Keep
the
them.
orders, and so when you start seeing canceled orders, that's usually the first sign that the equipment situation is going to flip, and we're starting to see that now, because he's not the only one that has that story. So
There's your Brandon.
and so they're pricing the little guy out. So I guarantee you that the next time rates jump up, you're not going to have 20,000 new authorities because equipment is so hard to come by. And also it's expensive. You know, I paid 60 grand for my truck at 300,000 miles. That same truck now, to get it down to 60, it's got to have 700,000 or 800,000 miles on it. Well, when they hit 700,000, 800,000 miles, they become money pits, regardless of the engine, regardless of the brand. And not a whole lot of people can absorb that. So,
Right.
so what are you going to do about it? That should be the discussion, you know, and having a strong foundation on your business, having to make sure your carrier's got a strong foundation, and having the right mindset to withstand any storm that comes along. So it's kind of what I preach.
Right. And you know, on a brighter note, Steve,
Yes.
your Shib Unu is down again today.
Oh yeah.
Darn.
and your Dogecoin is down again too. If you got the doggy coin, both
I
are
got
dog
rid of
coins.
Bitcoin
You know,
ago.
just
I
to
got
let you
Dolan
know.
Mars too.
Yeah, just to let you know. But you know, it
All
is what it
that's
is.
long term. That's nothing short. All that I bought, all that's long term. It'll
Right.
eventually get there. I'll probably be dead, but
Really? Now, Nordic Tank Lines, it just dropped 26 cents down to 262. It might be time to buy that. I might have to buy that again. It's getting back down there to the buy mark. I might have to make some money on that. Here, let me buy some.
I bought some brrn just to play with it, see what it does.
Peru?
Vroom, VROOM.
All right. Let's see what we can do on that. If I can get rid of it in one day. Yeah. All right. So there you go, Steve. Buy some of that.
I ain't buying squat.
We're up $42.80 already on it.
About stocks and crypto. I'm done with that. I'm done listening to YouTubers altogether.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got to have a special account where you play. That's all I do is
Right.
play with
I
it.
do. And look, I don't have serious money invested because if I did, I'd be losing my ass. So,
See, I take a couple thousand out of it, and go to the casino.
Right.
that's what I did. I took a little bit that I knew I could afford back when they were handing out the free money checks. I took a little bit of that, and that's down by half of what I had. And and sometimes I made money, sometimes I didn't. I have a pretty good mentor that's been helping me with that, but right now it's all a crap show. The only thing that's doing well is silver. So, and we've been investing in some of that too, and some of this, and some of this. So I got to put that away. So.
All right, Steve. Just sold it. 7-cent profit on 2,000 shares. Was about $140. That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sig Sawyer.
I was invested in them. I was invested in S&W, and I was also invested in
I hope you kept it because Sig Sawyer just got the contract from the United States government for the next generation assault rifle and a squad automatic weapon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should have kept Sig Sawyer.
Yeah.
Well, I figured, pandemic, firearms we're seeing the best sales ever. Like, oh, invest in a couple. No, lost money on that too. So I can't win on predicting. It wasn't hype that I bought on it. I just thought, common sense. Hey, if firearms companies are doing really well, just like there's a couple of stores around here that went out of business. You're a gun store. How did you go out of business? Other than lack of money management.
Jeff, do you still cut grass on the Mahindra?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You hadn't showed a video doing that lately.
Well, that's because I went out there to try to cut grass on the Mahindra when it hit 78 degrees. And all I was doing was tearing up the yard because it's too heavy of a machine until the frost gets done and it gets harder. Steve knows. He knows because he got stuck over here. So
Yep.
I took that 3,000-pound machine and hit the yard, and it doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So I have to wait probably another week or two.
Yeah, it was funny. I charged Jeff for a truck wash. We had half his driveway in his street when we left, and it was mox galore.
Now I wash my truck about twice a week. I keep it clean and spotless. Do y'all have a deal at Light Trucking where you help drivers keep their trucks clean?
Why would I do that when it's their business and they want to look good themselves?
Well, that
But well, it depends. Now, is Thomas
Corp
Wilson going to come over here? Are you going to sign on over here, Thomas Wilson, if I give you a truck wash fund?
Hey Jeff, you know what I did mention on my live feed? I mentioned that.
See, now it's on the other foot, and you're going to bring the steaks too, and we grill them out. I mean, you're going to provide the steaks.
I can do that.
Jeff, you know what I did mention during my live feed? That we started doing longevity and safety bonuses.
Yes, we did implement some bonuses. Yes, we did.
So whereas
safety bonuses, longevity bonuses, things like
whereas other companies are going to start taking percentages and starting to decrease rates, we're actually giving more money to the contractors.
Right. How's the bots? I don't know. Probably lost thousands. I don't know. I haven't looked. Silver or bust? Anybody do silver?
Yep.
Thomas got silver in his pocket. Oh wait, he makes too much money. He just got hundreds. You know, he's frozen in time. I think he's gone. He's frozen in time. And Leo says XRP. Man, XRP is like it's like a horse stuck in the mud. XRP going nowhere. I think what was it, like 70 cents the other day or so? You ever follow XRP? Let me see what XRP is doing. Good thing I sold that for 270. It's back down to 266. I might have to day trade it again. Maybe I can bang another $100 out of that thing. XRP, 64 cents. This went down 6 cents. It's down 10% again today. XRP's finished. Thomas Wilson is frozen time. Look at that. Look at that beautiful. Look at that beautiful look with the old. Is that a Stetson?
Probably
is.
10
Thomas
gallon
Wilson ain't gonna buy nothing but the best, right?
10-gallon hat.
Yeah. Put the 140 on the Bucks to win the NBA championship, says Smooth Trucking. That's true. Thomas, what else we got here? Okay, Gary Sapp didn't see the story. Come by the wife told me to get frying oil, and no supermarket had it. Frying oil? Really?
Yeah, a lot of frying oil comes from grain and corn, and a lot of that's going to be affected.
So what you're saying is, on the big old farmland just north of me, I should be planting corn.
Well, he's talking about, the Russia being an exporter,
Right.
Ukraine being an exporter of those goods, and he's in Europe. Dutch is in Europe, so.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that's
Thus the flag, right?
Differently than we are.
Thus the flag, right?
Yep.
Hopefully, more likely it's going to be an electric truck, self-driven. Let's see what else we got going on here. Jerome says, if it gets bad, I'll be joining Jeff's team. Robert Keck, I have no idea what you're talking about, Rob. How is the black top chip driveway? You mean the asphalt millings driveway? Now that's holding up really good. Now, Snowlord wouldn't sink like he did last time because we have that asphalt millings down and compacted pretty good. So that's what I ran out on the farmland too. I ran 1,400 feet of it, about 14 feet wide. And it's about, the base of it's probably about 2 feet deep. That's a lot of material. I just haven't compacted it down yet. So I have to get one of the big tractors out there and do some compaction on it. Canadian Freight Broker says, good morning from Mexico. What's he doing in Mexico? I thought he was in...
business.
Oh, business. They let him out of, what was it? BC? Is it British Columbia? Or Saskatchewan? I can't remember. Was it BC? Or Canadian Freight Brokers up there at? You don't know?
It's
Just Canada. It's Canada. Not really. Canadians will tell you it's not Canada. Because you got different provinces and they like to fight with the other provinces.
North America is where he's at.
Kane Braver says, OTJ, forget Vegas. All inclusive in Mexico is where it's at. All inclusive. That's food and everything. Food, drinks, all that stuff.
Alberta is where he's from.
Yeah. Thomas deals in gold, not silver. Says Mr. Charles. He ain't got time for silver, man. He goes right for the gold. Who's that? Snorlord?
I am good looking.
Acceleration
Don't ever
Rules says, let's go Brandon Crypto.
Is there a crypto called that?
Well, XRP is finished. I remember when XRP was up, $1.80 or whatever, way up in the dollars. It's in the cents. It did go all the way down to like, what, 10 cents or so, or even less than that, but it rebounded back up. It fluctuates, just like all the crypto fluctuates. The only thing that's really held anything is Bitcoin. But, Bitcoin got in the 60,000 range. Now it's at 39 or 40, so it's down. But it got up there. And Ethereum's went to the garbage too. It's went to the dumps.
Yeah, I'm losing on all of it. All of it.
Bugatti's got to come in here. Bucks not beating the Boston. I don't know. Soybeans. Now there's another one you can get on too. There's Snorlord. It's kind of pre-SHIB. Pre-SHIB, like 0.0000000001124. CDN meeting with El Chapo. Ready to buy a pallet of solar panels and go hit on my property if things get worse. There you go. Go hide. What do you think of solar panels to run stuff?
A lot of people don't realize that solar panels actually age, and you have to replace them. And
what was it, like 7 or 10 year lifespan?
Yeah, and they're hell on landfills. All the stuff that's supposed to be green
is not green.
Landfills.
Right. So how's it green?
It's not.
It's not. It's more toxic.
About this green, right?
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah, they're talking a different type of green, but they're faking all the American people that don't read that they're trying to save the planet. In other words, they're killing the planet.
If people knew how lead and lithium is mined, which is what you need for batteries. I once picked up a load of lead blocks down there in Missouri, south of St. Louis. I forget the name of the town. And it was weird because you drove into this neighborhood and it was abandoned. All the houses looked nice and neat. All the yards were kept up, but it was fenced off. And so, the guy in the forklift comes out with this Darth Vader mask, and and he tells you you and your t-shirt and jeans gotta put load secure it down in the trailer in the heat. And they were getting ready to close that plant because they had poisoned the water in that area, and they had employees dying, and they had to literally replace all the that whole neighborhood. They had to literally move everybody out because they had poisoned the area. That seemed really green, right? For lead. So
what's Bugatti talking about? Here's Matt Phillips. What's he talking about? Orientation. I don't know.
Motion detected at the inside garage. Motion detected at the inside garage.
That's all kinds of security stuff going off. Steve, are you moving around?
No. The other thing about solar panels is there's a big solar farm out in California where they put these mirrors to kind of enhance the light onto the solar panels, and it's killing like thousands of birds. So there's that too. Yeah, there's a lot of jokes out there of Musk buying certain things. Like someone said Musk should buy MTV so he could start playing music again, stuff like that.
Well, when you got what has he got, $200-something billion? I mean, you can pretty much buy whatever you want to buy.
I just like the reaction, the emotional reaction of people, of him buying Twitter.
Oh, they got all mad, didn't they? They see the reactions like, is he going to let Trump back on Twitter and all this stuff, and then I think Trump even said he wasn't going to go back on there, didn't he?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't keep up with that. I watch people cry, rant, and do hissy fits, and I laugh at them, feel compassion for them, and then I move on.
I will say one thing though. I wish we had the fuel prices we had years ago.
Yeah,
during that presidency period, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Right about now,
especially now, because that
right?
was the thing that helped keep a lot of people in business during the shutdowns was the fuel prices.
Right, it was a low cost of fuel.
Yep. So you can go to a daily rate model and still make your money as long as you weren't going over a certain mileage a day, but and you were still profitable because of the fuel. Now that's a little bit more difficult.
Well, that's what if you watch the most wealthiest people and you listen to them, that's how they make money. That's how you make money. You borrow money to make money, to where most of the general public borrow money and increase their debt because they don't buy assets with that money. They buy cars and they buy other things with the money, appliances and things like that go down in value, and they just increase their debt. They don't invest it into money making investments.
They use other people's money. Michael Whitehead's got a good question.
What's that? 100,000 versus 250,000 cargo insurance, 400 per year difference on premium. What would you recommend for cargo insurance? Well, here's the thing. If you're a single owner operator, or maybe one or two trucks, the 100,000 is where you should be at, because you will not make up the difference in premium, because how many loads you got to run to make that up? For example, if you got a load that's 250,000 cargo insurance that pays $3 a mile, but you can get, that $3 a mile and $100,000 cargo run, you're not doing anything.
I think it would depend on what you're hauling. If your step deck wanting to do some heavy stuff, then I think it might be a good idea.
Right. But what I'm saying though, Steve, right, is you got to look at, I'm just saying the average guy out there.
Yeah.
Right? And you come across the $250,000 ones, once or twice a year, unless you have a dedicated customer, then of course you have to have it. But just to have it because you see one of those loads once in a while, they usually don't pay that much better to justify the extra insurance.
Yeah, I think the 5 years I've been in the spot market, there's been 2 loads I called on that needed that in 5 years.
And I bumped it up to $250, but it costs way more than $400 a year. On my perspective, because if I do it by the mile, it's more than that. But if you have a lot of contractors, it's nice to give them all those extra opportunities if it arises, right? And a lot of the big, what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of the big brokerages, let's say like Coyote, if it's $250 but they can't get it to move, they will let the $100,000 cargo insurance guy carry it. They will just supplement it from theirs insurance because they carry that insurance. You understand that? And they'll do that. They'll just say, okay, you can haul it and we'll just back it with our insurance.
It was kind of funny. The first load I called on once I got home with my trailer and had my plate, when I came over to Like Trucking, was one of those loads because it was paying, a little bit better than the others, but that was one. And then there was one time when I was out in Texas that there was a load like that. And whenever I see a really good rate on the spot market, that's like 40% higher than the rest of the posted rates, that means there's something up with it. And sure enough, it's like either multi-stop or you need the 250 or it was like 18 stops or it doesn't deliver till next week, stuff like that.
Right. And for all the carriers out there, remember it's if you use a, let's say like Express Labs or something like that, drug consortium, always double check this time of the year in the quarters for the randoms, because the problem you might have is if you don't check and you didn't do them, they will cancel your account. So, always make sure you double check. I was on a Facebook page and somebody was yelling about their consortium canceled them because he said that he didn't get notified, but it went to a spam mail or something like that. But that's not their problem, right? You're supposed to keep track of that stuff. Log into your consortiums at least a couple times a quarter, and make sure that if there's randoms there, you get them done before the end of that quarter, or else you will lose your consortium.
Good advice right there too, sir.
And that's what Trucker Jason says. He said, interesting. Yeah, okay. So now what do we got here? Canadian freight broker. Conservative giant ram rate, California to Ontario, 2,450 miles, going for 10 grand Canadian dollars right now. Yeah, it's big bucks in cross-border freight, but also has high cost. Shannon says, well, I'm here at Grand Rapids Gordon's, checked in. Pray for me, please. Got to get out of here by noon to make my next load on time. 10? Nope.
That ain't gonna happen, Shannon.
Sorry, Shannon.
We
don't want to be bearer of bad news, but
so here's what you do, Shannon. You call the broker for your next load and you say, hey, I'm having an issue with the receiver. What's the latest I can show up at the next load? That way you give them a heads up so they're not trying to cover it the last minute if they need to cover it, but they might go, well, you could be at work, and as long as you can make the delivery on the other side, they're usually pretty good about that. So just communicate with your broker if you haven't done so already.
sign this rate con.
And that's good advice for anybody running the spot. If you've booked ahead, notify the next broker that there might be an issue of you getting empty, and you can just blame the receiver. They don't have to know that you were late for other reasons. And then the broker will say, well, what's your ETA? So give yourself a couple hours. So like if your appointment was at noon, say, well, at this point, if they get me kind of empty within this amount of time, I'm this far away, so maybe let's try 2 o'clock. Something like that. And that way, if you show up a little bit earlier, it looks better on you. So
right. My computer's not working right today. It wants to put everything down here at the bottom when it should be at the top.
Lame.
Maybe I probably need to hit the button or something for sort by date or something, right? The next load has a 7 to 2 window. Where's it at, Shannon? Is it in Kentwood / Grand Rapids area, Holland, Lansing? Where are you going? Probably Grand Rapids. Probably going over on 44th Street or something.
Now, if it's a window, then you got a little bit more leniency. But if it's looking like it's going to get close to that 2 o'clock window, then you definitely want to communicate with the broker.
Right. See, when's this load pick up?
In Pigtail, do more authorities always equal more truck capacity? Not always, because let's say you got a truck company that's got 20 trucks and they all decide to get their own authority. Well, it's 20 new authorities, but it's still the same 20 trucks. They're just in a different spot. So
right.
So, I'm sure there's a little bit more, but
Steve, you want to put this other one in for me?
Let me guess, it's got 5 stops.
Yeah. I had one I had to put in the other day. It had like 15 stops on it.
I can just, I heard you cursing all the way from. I was like, what's that place?
Sometimes you hate flower season and things like that, right? Or you get those Yamahas, right? A lot of the Yamahas are running, the ATVs or UTVs or whatever, and they stick them in there, the gators things. It's like, okay, 10 stops to Yamaha or whatever. Each one gets one.
Shannon, answer your question. 3 Rivers, Michigan.
3 Rivers. Okay, so you're gonna go down there and pick up. Are you going to the paper company? Huh?
How far is that? So how much time does she need to get down
Well,
there?
that's an hour.
So they got to have you empty by 1, Shannon. And here's another thing you can do, Shannon. So you can go in and say, hey, my dispatcher wanted to know just how much longer it might be. That way it makes it look like your boss is on you, even though you're the one dispatching. You kind of put the blame on somebody else. And that usually lessens them snapping at you. We'll get to you when we get to you,
Right.
So, but also if it looks like you're flirting with 1 o'clock and it looks like you're not leaving yet, definitely communicate with the broker that, what's the latest they'll take you.
You got an hour and a half. It's like 75 miles, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have some lights and things, so you got to look at about an hour and a half. So you need to actually be out of there by noon.
Yeah, comfortably.
Comfortably by noon.
So I would communicate with the broker that 2 o'clock might be a challenge.
Well, it depends. What do you got on your trailer at Gordon Food Service? What do you got? That's the key. What do you have? Do you have a straight pull off? What is it? Man, I hate when these companies have like different addresses in the same town. Yeah, you can always call them, and you can always ask them too. Can the receiver take me later, or the shipper? I mean, can the shipper take me later? And they might.
Yeah, if they're desperate to get that product off, they'll wait for you. Or they might just say, well, you can pick it up first thing in the morning. So you might lose a day too. So it just depends on the excuse me, on the product and how desperate they are for it.
But that's where a good contractor makes them even greater is when they communicate, right? So if they call the broker ahead of time and say, look, I'm here. I'm not getting unloaded anytime soon. They're taking their time. I'm just letting you know I can't make it there by, let's say, 2 o'clock. So if you want to take me off the load, that's fine. But if you can extend it to 4 or 5, I'd still like to stay on the load. At least communicate. Where a lot of people don't communicate, and then they call up and say, where's your guy? Where's your driver? Well, still getting unloaded, but now it's time to be picked up.
Yeah.
And who knows if they report you, right? They could report you to, they could put you on carrier 1411 or something. Whoever those people are that started that shouldn't even exist, but. Oh yeah, there's a few drops on here, Steve. You
I knew the minute you said if I wanted to do it, and that was why.
Do you want to do it? Come on.
No, you're already. My computer's not working. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, keep making excuses.
This is my phone. This is my phone right here.
Yeah, well, someone's calling you. So who's calling you? You dispatching? What are you doing?
I've got 2 trucks. I got one unloading now. One is picking up, and I got to find a good weekend load for the flatbed guy. Shouldn't be no problem.
Right.
And the other one's booked until Sunday, so we're going to try to find something that gets him the rest of the way he needed to go. Oh, look at Robert. He's advertising. Go down the bottom.
Robert Keck. Here we go. Wabash Reefer for sale. And 3 Peterbilt 579 trucks for sale. 2 2018s and a 2016 dry van trailer are not for sale. So got a reefer for sale in 3 trucks. That's what we have. Rob has those for sale. So if you want to get a hold of them, throw your email address up there, Rob, in case anybody's. He has a driver supposed to start today. Haven't heard from the driver.
Yeah, and then we had one last week that at the absolute last second said that, oh, I got a local job. Never mind. After he did the test and everything.
Right. Well, think about it, Snorlord. If he's supposed to start today, don't you think he's taking the test too?
Yep.
So that's what a lot of people understand. You lose a lot of money. And, OTJB said, he talked about this. He ranted about it. You put out all this money to do all the checks that you have to do legally, the drug screens, everything. So you're out several hundreds of dollars, and then they don't show up for some reason or another, right? They get busy doing something else. They get talked into staying where they're at, or something. Right on. It ain't it. But that's what happens. Now, how can drop 1 be the same as drop 2? Why do they even do that? That doesn't even make any sense.
I know that sometimes I'll deliver at the Sam's Club / Walmart DC in Sanger, Texas, and I'll actually list it on the rate time as 2 stops, but in reality, you're just going to the back to the same.
Right.
Time. So it might be a situation like that where it's you can have one warehouse that has 3 different addresses on it, but it's all going to the same dock.
Well, it's at least I had to enter the stuff in again.
Yeah.
So at least that's done. So you should have done that one, Steve. You could have,
My computer's not working. Man, it's weird.
Okay.
It just.
Why invest in a better computer? Get off the Windows. Windows is like a Packard motor. Oh, let's throw this load on this driver here and hit that. Assign. And then that's another thing, let's say you do a TQL load, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate how TQL does their stuff.
That's been a thorn in my side with one of my new authorities because we've had to predominantly use them, and I have to hound them every single time for that dispatch sheet. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. The driver instruction sheet. Yes. See, we got one driver that's just booked 4 loads here in the last 20 minutes. So they're putting them, I guess, scheduling their timeout, right?
Good. That's what needs to be done right now.
Yeah, she's booking like crazy.
I'm gonna bring up something. So
Go ahead.
if you have a load that you're not quite sure if it's going to hold in transit, even though you've strapped it, make sure you take pictures before you close the door so you can show that you've done your part to secure that load. That might help you at a later date.
I've
gotten in the habit when I do a load, as long as it's not something standard, before I close the doors, I take the picture and then I close the door put the seal on, take a picture of that. So it covers you, right?
Oh, here's another TQL Raycon. This is from California.
Who's out in California?
California to Maryland.
Man,
that's a cross country there, baby. That's coast to coast.
yeah.
Yeah, that's coast to coast, man. That'd be all right. It's got to be a reefer load.
Yeah, it's produce season.
Yeah, it's got to be a reefer load. I'm going back to one truck. Sometimes one truck is where it's at. You ever thought of doing a lease purchase, Bob? Of course you have. Yeah, that's a team run right there, baby. Only given a couple days. Reefer money. Do your homework. Study that up. Reefer in the Midwest is pretty good.
How much he's selling the reefer for, I think.
Oh. How much? Bob,
What?
put how much you're selling.
$2.
What'd you say, Steve?
I'll be right back.
All right, so I got to find out where I'm at here on this here. And that's the only thing I don't like about the TQL stuff, because you can't even put nothing into your system until you get the driver instruction sheets, because you don't know. I mean, you could put towns in there, but that doesn't do anything. Then you're just entering stuff over and over again. So I'll just wait until they dispatch, the driver. And I don't understand that. Raycon should come with pickup and delivery on it. I don't see, if you got the Raycon in the first place, why not just include the delivery, pickup and delivery locations? It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, what are you hiding? I mean, so let's take anybody out there, take Rob, take James, take Bill, anybody. If you know your town and it says it picks up in, XYZ town, you know what shipper it is. Come on, brokers ain't hiding nothing. All brokers know what's there. I mean, shoot, you could just Google and see what's there. Oh, wait, I have pallets of flavoring syrup on my drive-in here for Gordon's. Next pickup is at Bathware, 3 Rivers, 72. This is a TQL load. Yeah, well, flavoring syrup, as long as it's all the same flavor, it might be pretty fast there at Gordon's. But, if they gotta break it down, you're bumming. Hopefully it's stacked tie high, right? It's got the right tie high stacking. Peacekeeper says, TKL called me 5 times this morning, 7:30. I don't have posted trucks. I'm not under any of their loads. WTF is wrong with them? Well, it's because if you have their apps and everything else, and you got it for always tracking, you know exactly where you're at, and they're just going to keep on because you're in that area. Get calls from them all day long. So if you don't want to answer their call, don't answer the 2600 out of Ohio. Right, Steve?
Yep. You know what I thought was interesting is that, most like Coyote and C.H. Robinson, you have a carrier rep. So you can call him, him or her, they have access to all the loads. Well, TQL is not set up like that. So there was one time where I called, or TQL called me, hey, is your flatbed in this area? I'm like, no, but do you have one out of this area? And he said, oh, no, we don't have anything. I'm like, all right. So I look at the load board, and sure enough, they had like 5 loads in that area. Like, he couldn't see what the other brokers he was under had in the same company. It's very inefficient. I don't know why they have it set up like that, but you know, what are you going to do? So
Right.
So, I mean, we could have made a deal right then and there, but because he couldn't see those loads, you know, meanwhile, I call my CH guy and he's like, oh, we got this, this, and this. And then if you go over here, you got this and this. And like, all right, let's do it. And boom, next thing you know, your truck's booked for the week. So
See, like, you know, if a truck signs on and they want to get a plate from you,
Mhm.
you know, in this environment, in a way, you know, people don't, you know, people don't show up and things. So if you want a plate, you got to pay all at once. That
Yeah,
way, if they don't show up, you're not out the plate cost.
yeah,
'Cause plates aren't cheap.
I agree with that.
I mean, a couple of years ago, get somebody a plate or something, you know, we could just, if they want to do payments or things like that, you know, foot the bill. But the way it is nowadays, where 50% of the people, you know, either don't show or stop, you know. But I don't understand why you go take a drug test and the next day it doesn't make any sense to me.
And that's the thing, we've had good driver retention the last year, and but getting the new ones in has been a challenge, you know, because of what you just said. I mean, you know, everybody's still in the grass is greener mode. So, you know, it's a driver's market right now. People are desperate for drivers. So, you know, you hear about people taking 2 or 3 tests and picking just whatever company that they want to go to. And like I said, we had one, a couple of weeks ago that literally the day before they were supposed to start,
Right.
bailed on us. And, you know, and it's tough to find good people to begin with. You know, we got a really good crew here.
And those are, and let's face it, those are just drivers going to drive, you know, for the contractor, right?
Yeah.
Those are the drivers that are doing it. They're company drivers. You know, they're with a company and they don't have a truck in the game.
Yeah, we're not.
Haven't really had any owner operators do that. It's
No.
all been guys coming to drive to learn the spot market and drive for one of our contractors that have 2 of our contractors that have multiple trucks.
Yeah.
But they would go through the whole process, and next thing you know, they say, "Oh, well, I landed a local job." You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are company drivers that think about doing that, they're flocking to Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the advertisement.
Yep.
So to find drivers for trucks, you know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, people say, why didn't you do, you know, start your company? Because I know some guys are starting to carry with their own, you know, they're buying trucks and they're putting drivers in. Well, that's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
We're owner operators. You really don't get that much turnover. You know, when they have total control of what they're picking and choosing, you really don't have a lot of turnover.
Right. Yeah. The only turnover that we've had is people getting their own numbers.
Right.
You know, and you know, and that's bound to happen in our model, which is fine, because you know that's what helps create the network. But as far as like people keep asking me, I should put somebody in my truck, I won't do it because of what I'm seeing everybody else struggle with. You know, because I know people that have brand new trucks that they've put people in, and within 30 days they've damaged them. Or within, I know one guy that had to call the cops to physically remove the guy out of the truck because he had to fire him.
Well, take a look back when I had that blue Volvo, the full maintenance lease, right?
Yeah.
And I lease purchased it. One guy wanted to lease purchase it, so I let him have it. He was driving it, got all the way up to the end where you could buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "No, I don't want to buy it. I'm going to go do something else." And then when I got that truck back in the shop here, and put it in the pole barn and went through it. Unbelievable.
No wonder you didn't want to buy it. Because
Unbelievable the damage.
pretty good price.
Right, unbelievable the damage.
Yeah.
And I could have bought the truck, right? He left, didn't want it. I could have bought it because that's the option, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with the extensive damage and things that I have to do to get it back to where I would drive it, it's better. I just better give it back because it wasn't worth the cost. So that's what you run into do if you do like lease purchases, you know. But a lot of times, you know, those work out okay because if you get a guy that really wants to do it, like Bob, you know, Bob had some lease purchases and, you know, they went well.
Yeah.
Like Cool Trucking. I mean, he paid that truck off in no time, man. Him and Diane stuck to their guns and, you know, they got to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now maybe he'll want to buy that reefer.
There's a bigger risk. You know, you got to have the money to, you know, because if you do a lease purchase, like if I wanted to lease purchase my truck, you know, you would want to know if that driver can handle the breakdown repairs because unlike Schneider, I you know, am I willing to take a 30,000 hit if that motor blows or something like that? Like if you got a Schneider lease truck, that's an umbrella because, you know, they'll front you the money and then you can just pay it back. Same thing with Landstar, but on a 1 or 2 or 3 truck operation, and you were able to do that because it was a full maintenance lease. So there was no risk on that, as much risk on that. But yeah, it's hard to have that cash flow to handle all that if that truck goes down or all your trucks go down and your lease operators can't afford those repairs. You know, what are they going to do? That's why like Lone Mountain, you know, they check your credit and they make sure that you have a certain amount of money in the bank to be able to cover that, and they put killer warranties on their trucks. And
right, because they know.
Yeah, they know, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for, you know, a couple of drivers to pick up these empty trailers, and we'll be good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something. I got a good rapport with my trailer rental places.
Yep.
So, you know, they call me up and say, "Hey, got a trailer. You want it?" I said, "Of course I want it." So I just let it sit there.
Yeah, and that's gold in today's world with the shortage of trailers. So
because I know there's people above me on the list. I know for a fact, right? But he called me up because I bought a lot of trailers from him and I rent a lot of trailers from him. And he just called me up and said, "Hey, got another one. Just came in. Putting all brand new tires on and everything. Be ready to go first of the week. You want it? Sure. Take it." And, you know, I'm at the point where I don't even have to put deposits down on them.
That's good. That's a good place. And it takes a while to get that. These new authorities that come out thinking that they can do power only, and then they realize that it's a little bit tougher. So they go to these trailer rental places thinking one thing, they don't realize that it is tough to get a trailer as a one truck operation. And you got to have some time in the game. Like they're not going to give, like if your authority's 30 days old and you need a trailer from X release, ain't going to happen. So,
good morning. Should I separate my insurance coverage? If so, how? What do you mean?
Need more information, like
yeah,
authority. Are you doing the carrier's insurance if you're signed on with somebody?
Right. I mean, are you getting, let's say, a Schneider's insurance, and you might want to separate to, let's say, First Guard or something like that, or, you know, my personal opinion, if you have a truck, it's nice to have your own plate. That way, if things go wrong with the company you're at, you can legally drive that thing home because it's your own plate.
Yeah.
I have my own authority. So separate insurance coverages. What are you talking about? Buying extra insurance like general liability?
Most authorities that I know have their insurance under one
umbrella.
Yeah, one umbrella. Occupational, general liability, cargo, it's all under one deal. And I don't know if you can separate them, can you?
Well, no, see, usually general liability isn't with the same company.
Oh, okay.
Because look at mine, right? We have our liability and cargo with one company, general liability with another, and our occupational fleet insurance that we offer is under another.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what he's talking about then.
Yeah, so it's 3 different companies. So, like, right? See, we offer fleet insurance. So if you want your bobtail, physical damage, bobtail, and occupational through us, you get a discounted rate, and it's all under one umbrella. So the whole fleet's under that one insurance company, where the liability and cargo is under another, and the general liability is under another. With OIDA at the moment, why does they use? Last I heard, they used the risk insurance there is out of
England.
England, right?
I would
shop around when it comes insurance time.
Yeah.
Because you can do a lot better than them. Plus, there was about 30 or 40 brokers that won't accept their cargo.
Yeah.
And so when some brokers of that magnitude doesn't accept someone's cargo, then there's a problem. I mean, there has been a problem, right?
Yeah. So my if Hambone, let me see if I got the right assumption here. So you're running into that problem that Jeff just mentioned. So you want to separate your cargo from the rest of your insurance because OIDA's giving you a pretty good deal. I would shop around, especially if you got some time under your belt, and see if someone can help you out. I think that is am I right on that assumption?
Well, if he's under 60 days, I would have I'd have an insurance company or a rep. Where do you live, Hambone? What state? What state are you from? Because if you could use the people I go through, they're great people.
Yeah.
They search all the different insurance companies out there. North Carolina, okay, they search all the different. You might want to find an agent around North Carolina, right? A trucking insurance agent where they can search all the different companies.
Yeah.
And they can come back to you with 2 or 3 companies, say, here's the prices. And this is what each company offers that's better than this other company. Because like in our policy, we have a lot of perks that other companies charge for. For instance, and OTJB probably knows this. I don't know who he's with, but if you're, let's say, with Progressive and you want your trailer interchange, they give you, I think, 20 grand or 25 grand. But if you want to haul a reefer, some company says, okay, haul this reefer. They want $75,000 interchange. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg to get that through them. To where the company I have, it comes with $100,000 already in the policy. Don't have to pay nothing for it. And that's for renting trucks or trailers. It's already there, so it costs you nothing extra.
And then some insurance actually even offer tow.
Right. Ours offers tow. It's got all kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you need someone that knows the game that could shop around for you and get you in a better spot. OIDA was a good start, but now since you're almost up to your year, now it's time for you to get a good rate with a much better insurance company that will open a lot more opportunities for you.
Welcome back, Carter, aka Food Mooch, says, why is Daniel selling his truck? I don't know. Let's see what else we have here. Just know my year is up. Yeah, you always want to shop around when your year's up because
shop around.
You might find somewhere you're going to save a couple thousand, or you might have to pay an extra $1,000, but you might get an insurance that's a whole lot better, and it's worth the extra. money.
Yeah, if you got a clean record, Hambone, after 2 years, then you should have no problem getting something that's closer to, you know, that's going to be a good deal. I mean, that's the biggest hurdle for new authorities is that first year insurance, or if you've had some bad inspections, that second year insurance, or if you grew too fast, that could really affect you as well. So the first 5 years with your own authority, Jeff, wouldn't you agree, is the toughest?
Yes. Because like the insurance I'm with, they just changed with all these new authorities come in and all the risk, because they're getting accidents, all this stuff. They made a policy if it's a new authority, 1 to 3 years, they won't let them grow unless it's their own company trucks, unless they buy the truck and put a driver in it. They won't let no one bring owner operators on, right? So they won't do that. And they have what they call now a new entry program.
Mm-hmm.
Where before they would let you put an owner operator, and now they won't. You gotta have so many years, like 2 years in before you can put one on, and 3 years in before you can even add to that.
Which is probably good because it takes you a year, at least a year, to kind of figure things out. And most people with their own authorities, they'll bring on their friends first, and then that could be kind of sketchy. So, it's if your purpose to have your own authority is to grow the company, you need time and patience.
Right. And with Hambone,
will cost you.
With your OIDA, if I remember right, it's just going on my memory, and I'm old, so who knows. But anybody's checked out OIDA insurance, I think they did have, like, if you wanted to you could only put one, maybe 2 or 3 drivers on in 3 years, and they had to have at least 10 years experience and things like that, right? They had a bunch of stipulations.
Yeah.
To where if Progressive is on the other end of the spectrum, right? They tried to hook you in, which just, okay, you can put up to 9 contractors on, they can have 2 years minimum of experience, or even less than that if you want to pay a little extra premium. But if you do that, you better be ready to pay the piper, because when it comes to renewal time, they're going to jack you up 40, 50% or more on an insurance rate. And you know why they can do it? Because you can't go anywhere else unless you get rid of your drivers that you took on, because everybody's going to say you're high risk. Now, people say, how do these foreign folks come in here and they grow a company to, let's say 50 or 100 trucks within a year or 2 years? Well, because they pay the high risk insurance. They got a huge amount of money backing them, and they go right to the high risk pool at $25,000 to $35,000 a truck, and they just pay it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They take the loss to build the company. That's the way they do it.
That's how it's done. So yeah, I mean, that's how they get you. That second year, like, oh, we see that you have 5 drivers. Guess what? Now your bill's this. And if they had any out of services or anything like that, now you're really it's kind of like, when I was a company driver, one of our drivers rolled a truck, and I was surprised that the company didn't fire him. And I said, I told him, I said, well, you realize what they've done. You can't go anywhere else. If they tell you to jump, you got to ask how high, because they know that you can't go anywhere else. And that's how money is made these days. Oh, you can't go anywhere else, so I've got you. So I'm going to charge you what I think is going to deal. So
I got dropped by Progressive when I updated my truck title. What's Normatic saying? I'm back. The bloke in the spacesuit has finished offloading this flammable stuff. What happened to Thomas Wilson? Where'd he go?
He probably got unloaded.
He's frozen time?
I spoke to a buddy of mine that was hauling hazmat tank, and he had a coworker that he was getting fuel somewhere. He was walking around the truck, and he realized there was a leak coming out of the trailer. That stuff was so bad that once they notified the county, they had to evacuate people within like a 3-block radius because of that leak until they can get the leak dealt with. I don't miss my hazmat days at all.
Okay, Greer, South Carolina to Prairie. Let me see what this broker's trying to do here. To Prairie, Duchesne, Washington, or Wisconsin, I mean. 953 miles. And they want $2,200. 44,000 pounds of fiber bales. Can you cover this load? Absolutely not. It says any options. Okay, here you go. Anybody, I'm going to send this to everybody. So anybody wants to bid on that, if they want to go to Wisconsin or in South Carolina, tell them $3,000 or, start at 3,500, say 22 is too low. Here's your option, 3,500. Try to meet at 3.
Yeah, right now they got it at $230 a mile.
Yeah. I'd quote them at 35, and because you can always come down a little bit. You can never go back up. Yeah, tell them 5K says won't come back.
Yeah, they won't get you a few people hanging up on you.
I really appreciate you guys pointing all drivers in the direction if they want some real information. Thanks, Hambone. That's what we try to do here. It's what the channel's been about for, I don't know how long I've been doing this, but
like, I don't know, a couple of months, right?
A couple months.
Yeah.
A couple months on the channel.
Yeah.
We need to get back to doing more and more videos in some type of order or something, right? But lots of work to do in the business, so YouTube has to sit on the back burner, right, until the business gets done anyway. So I can't put these other rate cons in. Can't do nothing. I got 2 TQL loads sitting here. Can't do nothing with them because we have no driver instructions. I mean, okay, so they give you the rate con, and everybody knows TQL. It gives Indianapolis to Sterling, Illinois. Sterling, Illinois, man. They're going to see James where they're going, right in his backyard. What's this say? Why are day cab trucks almost as expensive as sleeper trucks? I've seen 2020 day cabs at 100,000 plus. Because it's supply and demand, right? There's hardly no supply for them, so they're going to get the high dollar price too. All right, Antonio, we'll be waiting for you. Been watching since the whiteboard in the truck, breaking down cost per mile. Yeah, we can do a whiteboard in a truck. I have to go buy another truck. I have to go buy another truck.
You should buy a truck.
Yeah, I'll buy one of Bob's trucks, but I'm not going to buy today's prices. So he won't sell it to me. Stars and Stripes. We got some people looking for a driver. Where do you live? I don't know if I have because this is StreamYard. I hate StreamYard. I'm trying to find Bob's information. I don't even think I have his ticker tape on here. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Send a reply to Bob. There's his email. He's got some 2018s. Peterbilt's 579s. Good trucks. Well kept up. Great condition. Great West told me back in 2009 that you pay for risk, but it can be done. Yes, you need to get on the risk pool. They will not do it anymore. Even me, right? They say you can only go to a certain amount, and then we'd have to go back to the underwriter and take a look. But then I still wouldn't go past that amount, even if they said that, because you never know when they're going to change their mind.
Yeah.
Right, Steve?
Yep.
Just like Progressive back in the day, did me wrong because they told me I could let me do it. Then they dropped the hammer.
Yep.
2 weeks later.
Yeah, that could have gotten ugly.
Yeah, that could have gotten real ugly.
It did get ugly for a little bit.
Good thing I read the Michigan laws, right?
Pneumatic Brit, getting your own numbers would not suit you because number one, to do hazmat tanker on your own authority is a challenge and extremely expensive. I talked to a driver that had his own authority that did a lot of hazmat refrigerated, and his insurance is high. So you've got the backing of a because a lot of hazmat's done in contract freight. You don't see a whole lot of hazmat loads in the spot market.
Right.
So, so you're good.
So yeah, so these brokers, whoever's controlling these rates, are playing with fire. They are, Rich Taco. That's true. They are. They don't know how the system's fragile already from the COVID thing going on, the stuff going on over in Europe and all that stuff. The supply chain is fractured, and they're messing with fire. And the big problem is the general public has no idea. They have no clue. They have no clue of how quick you could go with no food in that supermarket, right? You'll go in there and you'll see half the shelves bare. You'll see them out of chicken or whatever, and people walk around like it's no big deal. They'll have it tomorrow. Tomorrow night might not come.
Yeah.
So people that don't store up and buy a freezer, right, Snorlord, buy maybe a half side of beef or whatever, or a half a cow or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're not set up, because what's the worst thing can happen? Nothing happens. You just eat the food.
Yeah.
But at least you have it.
Well, the way inflation's going, if you bought a side of beef 3 months ago, it's more expensive now than it was 3 months ago. So you're saving money anyways. Hambone's got a good question. How do you guys go about growing a company in today's economic climate? One truck, one driver right now. You have to find an owner operator that has their act together to help you build a company. The first 5 trucks in your authority have to help you build a company. And I know a few people that are struggling because they've used the any meat in a seat. And I know a couple of people are doing well because they've been very picky about who they bring on. And so you have to kind of get into the contractor's business. You got to kind of see how they're handling things. And if they sign on saying, I won't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, that's probably a good indication that you don't want them in your authority. So.
Right. And here's another thing about an authority that a lot of people don't understand. It's fragile, right? Because Dutch has it right here. Trucking insurance is a year-by-year contract. That's it. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the year, if your insurance company does not want to re-up you, and then if you can't find nobody else, you're done.
Yeah.
Because the FMCA shuts off your authority numbers and you're done. So insurance is it. It's 100%, all done by the insurance. Insurance can make or break you.
Yep. That was always my biggest fear of getting my own authority is one insurance company can completely kill your business. They're the ones that really control the country, in my opinion.
Megas will never be able to keep up because they only equate to, I think, about 5% of all the trucks out there. It's very small. Very small. Absolutely. It's about working relationships. Yes. But yeah, that's the thing about insurance companies, man. If they say, okay, we're not re-upping you, and then you can't find nobody, you're done. You're out of business. It's one of the only businesses that is dictated by insurance, right? It's just ridiculous. If you own a restaurant, let's say Snorlord opens up, Snorlord Snack Shop or whatever, right? And he's doing real well, and he wants to open up 5 more. He can go do it, right? He can go do it. Insurance company says you can't do it. But in trucking, if you're one truck and you want to add 2, they say no, can't do it. Or if you want to add 5, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
So they dictate the growth of your company.
Right. They dictate the growth of the company, and they dictate how much money you're going to make. Because if they shoot you real high insurance, you're not making hardly any money because it's all going to insurance.
Right.
So risk versus reward. There is no reward, but 100% risk. It's the only business. Trucking is the only business where the insurance rules your business of if you can grow or if you can't. Any other business in America isn't like that, right? If you own a construction company, they don't tell you can only build 3 homes in a year. You could build 100 or 1,000 if you got the manpower.
Yep.
The real controllers, there's conspiracy about insurance companies. They are the real controllers. Can't even open a bank without insurance company approval. Yeah. Who's behind all the insurance companies? Who do you think?
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to get off here, man. I got stuff.
Yeah. I got to get to work. I got some stuff to put in here. We went way over time. Shoot, this is a James Best live feed, man. Hour and 57. Well, actually, it'd have to be 11 hours and 57 minutes. But hour 57 is a lot for me anyway. Cool Trucking wants to know if you want part of his quarter beef.
I was offered a half a cow earlier, but we don't have the room because of the deer. And we were stocking up before we got the deer. So.
Right, Steve Starr. Have a great day, all. Well, we put your email down there, Bob, so maybe Stars and Stripes might get a hold of you, see what that's all about. 11 hours will be next, see? 11 hours. Let's see. I was going to say something right here. Dutch. Is it self-insurance by the megas false competition than for the smaller company? Well, yes, because first of all, to be self-insured, you got to be approved by the government. You just can't, just because you have a couple $1 million and you set that aside as an insurance fund, doesn't mean they're going to approve you. But once they're approved, like a lot of them will do like insured up to 20 million, and then they'll have a backer, an insurance backer for anything 20 million or above, right? So what they do then is they can have their own set of parameters. They can hire drivers with all kinds of things on their record. Why? Because they're self-insured. They don't have the insurance company dictating what they can or cannot do.
Yeah, they can also bring in new CDL holders.
Right. They can bring in new CDL holders. They can bring in people with DUIs and drug offenses and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the ones that have to pay the bill if something happens on the road.
And to be honest with you, though, they like people like that because it allows more control.
Right. Because that person can't go everywhere. They can only go to a mega. So the megas just swap people back and forth, if you notice that, right?
Yeah.
You have some guy at U.S. Arrest, and he goes to Swift, or Knight or whatever, and then they go over to Schneider, and then they go over to Covenant. They just swap people, right? It's like a merry-go-round.
Yeah. So.
Because if you see the people's applications when they come in, you'll see it. You see the merry-go-round, right? I could probably go 11 hours. I could, but man, we can't.
I'm doing it with you.
Yeah, you go 11 hours, and then we can all, sit there and listen in on that.
Yeah, as long as he's not bashing like trucking. So there you go. So.
Hey, it's OTJB, right? It's the show. After about the 11-hour mark, if you get too many good things down in you, you never know what's going to happen. But one thing, maybe he can explain this, or you could explain to everybody. I don't see how can you drink because I want you go hang out with somebody or whatever, and let's say they drink a 12-pack or a 24-pack, whatever. How can you do that? I mean, I can't even drink like two 12-ounce cans of soda down. And I'm like, I just can't put no more in. How do you do it? You got like a catheter hooked up where it goes in and straight out, or how does that work?
Tell you what, I had a couple of Colorado Bulldogs, in Louisville, and man, they messed my gut up for like days. I wasn't right for a full week when I got home. So,
But yeah, I'm talking about like liquid intake.
yeah,
My body I just can't do it. I feel sick, right? So if I drink like a 32-ounce thing of Gatorade, I'm feeling really full and bloated. Maybe beer's different. I don't know. I don't drink beer, so I have no idea. James got it though. He's got it right here. He says, "I'm fat. Lots of laughs." Is that what does it? I don't know. I've seen a lot of skinny guys, man, put down like pony kegs and stuff like that. So I have no idea, man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how they do it. But that's the same thing as, you ever watch these guys on YouTube, the professional eaters? You ever watch those guys?
no.
How do they do that? How can you take? There's a woman. James probably knows who it is. There's a woman now. I think she's. I don't think she married Santel, one of the main guys, or it's his girlfriend. I don't know, but she went to this place with this mega pizza, and I think it was like 10 pounds of pizza. Put it all down, right? Or they go and get a hamburger challenge, and the hamburger, fries, and everything weighs like 8 pounds. How do you eat all that?
Isn't the international hot dog eating champions like this skinny Japanese guy, like he's like a beanpole?
Yeah, they don't even chew it. They just throw the hot dogs down. But how can you do, what is it, 70, 80 hot dog, 100 hot dogs? Where does that go if you're a beanpole? Where does that food go? Yeah, Don's got it. Yeah,
Christina eats.
Yeah,
Not into that.
I got room for liquids, but not solids.
Like you've been to the Texan right there in Amarillo, Jeff.
Yes.
Have you ever attempted that?
Are you crazy? I can't even do like their 20 ounce, right? Let alone, I could eat the steak, but I can't eat the potato and everything else with it.
When I would go in there, they had the man versus food, like version, which was like, I guess he went in there and did it. That TV show went in there. They do it like a quarter. It's a quarter of everything that's in the big challenge. And I ate that, and I was ready to just go take a nap for 3 days. I can't even imagine doing that 72-ounce steak. Although sometimes you go in there, you're hungry enough, you think you can do it, but after about halfway through, you're like, this was a mistake. I'm paying $100 for this thing.
Right. Though. It's unbelievable how they eat this stuff.
Yeah. I can't even imagine like a 72-ounce steak in your gut, man. That would you could fast for like a month after that deal.
Right. Yeah, he says it's there's a lot of other ones though.
There's one with the burrito that's like size of a log.
Right.
It's like 6 pounds or something like that.
Yeah. So here we go. I'll put this up there. Check this out. Let me see. I could show another YouTube video, I guess. I don't know. Can't you?
Mess around and find out.
Like this thing here, right? 13 pounds of cheesesteak. Joel Hansen. Wait till I get it to his plate. Here we go. Here, let's back this up. Now, could you eat all that
Yeah.
with spicy chicken and euros? Could you eat all that? Look how skinny this guy is.
I would try if I'm sure he's getting a pretty good coin for doing that. I mean, I can't think of anything else. Any
Well, yeah,
other?
you're getting good coin. 433,000 subscribers and 376,000 views. He's probably a millionaire on YouTube, right? Right. But you see, now let's fast forward it to how far he's got down here, about the 24-minute mark. Look, it's all gone. He ate all that in 40 minutes.
That's miserable.
40 minutes. He looks.
Oh man.
Look at him. I'm gonna get it all down, man. 40 minutes. There you go. 13 pounds at 41 minutes, 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, huh?
No, thank you. You probably
Here's a 190 ounce steak challenge. Look at this thing. Billy's Steakhouse. Look at that 190 ounce steak with all those sides, dude. The other one was 72 ounce, right?
Yeah.
This is 190 ounce. This is over double. Do you think he can do it? You think this guy could do it?
I'm guessing that this guy probably fasts before and after.
Well, he'd be fasting in the toilet, I'll tell you. Well, let's see if he does it. You think he'll do it? Who thinks he'll do it? He's got hot sauce there. Green beans, coleslaw, potato salad, and what is all this over here? What's all that?
Looks like potatoes, maybe? Potato chips or pork rinds? Looks like pork rinds.
Let's see, so more. So he's got 15 pounds plus of food.
Like
Coleslaw, green beef, potato salad, and cracklings. Yeah, fried pork skins. Yep.
It's like
Pork rinds.
pork rinds.
15 pounds of food. Let's see what let's go halfway in. Where is he at? Oh my God, look at that. Look at
Oh my
that.
gosh. He hasn't eaten any of the sides though.
The beef is gone. He's on the pork rinds.
Wow. Holy moly.
Nope, he's down to this. Look at his face. He's like, oh my God. Look, easy.
Dang.
It looks like you've already come up, don't it? Let's see. Can he do it? He's not getting into that coleslaw, is he?
Why is he wearing gloves?
Because of the hot sauce, probably, if he touches his face. We don't want to burn his eyes, right? Plus, you can pick it up with his hands. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He's trying to give up on the coleslaw. Can he do it? Here, let's go further. He did it.
Unbelievable.
Anyway.
Unbelievable. That dude's gonna die of a heart attack like, I don't know, next year.
Right. Grand Prix says colon cancer coming up. That steak would kill me. He's probably eating it with a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
Diet Pepsi.
That's true. He had a Diet Pepsi in the first one.
Famous Chicago, the football-sized burrito.
Yeah, I hope he has a good plumber. That's all.
Cool trucking. He smokes a lot of weed. Munchies required. I can't eat like that if I wanted to. I don't like to feel stuffed. Terrible feeling. Anyway, let's get out of here. I got things to do.
Peace.
Peace. Let's play some Snorlord music. Time for James. James, time for you to fire up your live feed, man. You know, people want something to watch. Let's get out of here.